So in regards to my identity, what went through my mind was just the ability to be comfortable, be myself, be able to dress how I want, say what I want, wear what I want, travel to different places without fear of any kind of persecution or just not being able to express myself fully.
I really wanted a place that I thought would be safe for me and like all of my identities as they come together and as they intersect, and so that really narrowed it down to a few select places.
Obviously, as a person of color and as a queer person, I know that in different parts of the world, the way that my identity operates in relation to those around me can be a bit different and challenging in some contexts, especially because the type of program that I did was one which addressed a lot of social issues, and so balancing not only how you navigate the country that you're in, but the classroom setting as well.
So what if the people were like the ones like I grew up with? What if they're not as acceptant? What if I said something like I would be in danger, or people would just, basically just harass you or say things that you don't want to hear necessarily?
First day that I was there, I found out that like their queer group meets on like the top floor of a building that's on like the outskirts of campus. There weren't very many Black people there, very little POC there, and there weren't any really strong groups for identities like period, just like overarching. There weren't very many groups to kind of find that niche and find that place, and I think that really shocked me. So I lived in a dorm, or what they called colleges, and so I was able to find people on my floor that I connected with. I had a good little group. We called ourselves the snack pack after our like favorite late night meal. And I was able to find, people of color in that group that I was able to relate to. I was able to find queer people in that group, and like there wasn't like a casting call where I was like, I'm looking for POC and like queer people, but it was almost like the people that I connected with ended up being POC and or queer in some way, which is really, really nice.
There was a trustees fellow on the program who essentially was a counselor and support system throughout the program, sort of guiding us as we were traveling to the different countries. And she herself was a queer woman of color who was really proactive in ensuring that she could talk to students both individually and collectively about concerns that they might have with their identity.
Our tour guide actually, was it the third day of classes or something, took us around and then showed us this cafe that was like super like hip and whatnot. And then he was like, oh yeah, this is like a super like gay friendly like cafe. And I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I didn't know he was gonna talk about these things. And that was like, it got better, and especially that it was like the first week that he said something like that. And I was like, okay, maybe then the program's not gonna be as bad as I thought it would be.
One thing that's clear to me now is that the study abroad was definitely life-changing. I actually came out while I was on the study abroad program, so I don't think that would have happened for me at Duke had I not done this program and been away for a little bit. I had an extremely great support model. I had a lot of friends. We had a small group of friends, 6 others from Duke, and I would say 10 others from other universities like Penn, Northwestern, Stanford, etc. And these kids became my best friends for months. They supported me in all my endeavors. When I came out, those were the first ones to be there with me. They were the ones that, helped me break the news to my friends back home, to my family, and I just kind of developed a sense of family and community with my friends that I made there.
I made it through and I thrived. Like I didn't just survive, I super thrived in that environment, and like I learned a lot about myself and how I navigate the world. I just feel better prepared to take the risks that might make my future better and brighter.
On campus, I tend to almost always be more extroverted and want to be more social, outgoing, and engaging with everyone that I can. I recognize that through my program, sometimes it can be exhausting to constantly be doing that with 1,000,001 different people. And so coming back to campus, I realized that for me, I feel more comfortable striking a balance where I'm able to maintain very deep friendships with a select group, but I realized that I felt more comfortable also having more space for myself as an individual to just operate independently.
Costa Rica was the first country where, I guess I lived on my own without my family, because I had lived in Lebanon and UAE and then a bit obviously in the US for college. But it was the first country where I was like, okay, I don't know nothing about the culture and I'm just there. And I think it triggered in me just the need to travel and live elsewhere in different countries, and just not just travel and visit the country, but it was the first moment where I felt that I want to immerse myself more in other cultures, not just the ones I know.
I feel a lot less dependent on others. When I was alone in Tel Aviv for the summer before my friends got there, I didn't really know anyone. I didn't speak the language. I had no kind of sense. And my parents were, miles away, different time zones, so I couldn't call them whenever I wanted or whenever I needed. We use this term adulting a lot, and I think I really learned how to adult being abroad. So I think that's one of the biggest takeaways.
I would say talk to someone who has studied abroad in one of those programs, because I think as much research as you can do, it's very hard to get a firsthand account through numbers and statistics, and it's like you should really reach out to people and talk to the people who have done that program or similar programs.
For me, I felt most comfortable reaching out via email at first, messaging students at Duke who had completed the program that I was interested in. And then moving from that, because we were both on campus, meeting in person was really valuable to get a more personal and deeper understanding of their experience.
There's a lot of people who have been in your shoes before, who may have been questioning or may have gone to places that you're interested in going and share similar identities to you. So I think the best thing you can do is use the resources that are available on campus and just reach out to your peers and ask questions, and don't be afraid to just step out of your comfort zone.